Hey everyone, welcome back. Let's just get right into it. So there are a small number of activities reserved for only the coolest of dudes. And I use the word dude in a non-gender specific capacity. One of these activities is knife throwing. Today I'm going to review my new favorite throwing knife. So let's do this. Now when you're casually shopping for throwing knives online, most of what you will find will be kind of small, say between 6 or 8 inches long. This one being on the larger side at 8.5 inches. And I think I speak for everyone when I say that I don't think that this is heavy enough to kill an adult human being. In fact, I think you're going to run into trouble if your target is any older than a preteen. So what can you do? Well, let me introduce to you the Cold Steel Perfect Balance Thrower. Let's do an unboxing. Success. So let's see what we got. Now that's a big throwing knife. The specs are written right here on the box. It's over 1 foot long at 13.5 inches. The blade is made of 1055 carbon steel and weighs just under a full pound at 15.4 ounces. It's a full 5 millimeters thick, which is just under 1/4 inch. Now most throwing knives have a symmetrical shape, but the Perfect Balance Thrower has this kind of a Bowie knife shape, and the blade actually comes razor sharp. And one of the reasons that I like this knife is because it can be used as an actual knife. So not only can you throw it, but you could also take it on a camping trip, and it's definitely heavy enough to chop wood. Though I don't know I would go so far as to call it a survival knife. You wouldn't want to throw your survival knife in the woods. You end up losing it. Anyway, one of the issues people have is, for the most part, throwing knives don't have a sharp edge, and that's because half the time you're going to be throwing it with the blade, and it's generally not a good idea to hold a razor sharp knife by the blade. But I've found that a pinch style grip will work just fine. The handle scales are a hard plastic, and they're held on with these screws. Some people have said that under rough throwing conditions, the screws will break, but apparently they are easy to find and replace. And I've heard that the knife throws just fine without the handles. Before I forget to mention it, the Perfect Balance Thrower is very affordable. I got mine for about $16 American. Well, I think that's just about enough talking. Why don't you follow me out to the old backyard throwing target? We'll see how she flies. And I say she in a non-gender specific context. Now I'm going to step forward a little bit and try to throw it from the blade in a pinch grip, like I mentioned before. Now here's another thing that I like about the Perfect Balance Thrower. Listen to the sound that it makes when a throw doesn't land. Now listen to the sound of the smaller knife. Did you hear the way that rang out? Well, so did all of my neighbors. And the last thing that you want is for your neighbors to think that you're a bad knife thrower. Not only do you have to worry about the neighborhood gossip, but it may affect property values. Now that was a lot of fun. One thing I will say is that this is definitely an outdoor knife. You're going to need a yard. So how would I rate the Cold Steel Perfect Balance Thrower? For that, I will introduce the Operation Let's Do This Scale of Lethality. This is a scale of the combat prowess of various fictional characters, ranging from weakest to strongest. The weakest being something like the reporter from Die Hard, all the way up to the nearly unbeatable characters, like Ron Swanson or Pootie Tang. I will then, depending on the weapon, decide the strongest character that it would be effective against. For instance, this smaller throwing knife, I would say would be effective against any one of the three ninjas from the 1992 film. While they are ninjas, they're no Kevin McAllister. Now, as for the Perfect Balance Thrower, I would say this would be effective up to Uncle Jesse from Full House in his prime. He's a young guy, he's in shape, a little street smart. Plus, you would need something with a little extra punch to get through that ever-present leather jacket. Now, if he's with Danny, forget about it. If you're going to go after Danny Tanner, you're going to need two things: a death wish and a set of balls. Anyway, let me know if you agree in the comments. And I didn't mention it earlier, but I actually bought 3 Perfect Balance Throwers. Why 3? Because there's 3 ninjas. You do the math. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.